the Chief Information Officer role explained. Video: The Rise of the CIO. What is a CIO? A Chief Information Officer, CIO, is the most senior technology executive inside an organization. The job title is used widely around the world in business, and in government, and in charitable and non-profit organizations. What is the role of the CIO? The role of the CIO is to help to set and lead the technology strategy for an organization, in concert with the other top executives. As such, one of the many roles of the CIO is to provide an executive-level interface between the technology department and the rest of the business. What is the difference between a CIO and an IT director? IT directors tend to be focused on day-to-day operations, while CIOs are outward-facing and more concerned with strategy and leadership. Some IT directors, in fact, report to CIOs, especially those working for large, multinational organizations at a country or regional level who sit beneath the global peer. Not all organizations will have a CIO. Smaller businesses use the job title IT director for their head of technology. Indeed, when it comes to technology executive, the picture concerning job titles is often far from clear. What is the difference between a CIO and a CTO? Generally, the CTO will report to the CIO, although not always. The roles of the CIO and CTO, and the relationship between the two, will vary by organization. In some, the CIO is responsible for setting the broad strategy and managing the relationship with the wider business, while the CTO looks for innovative technologies that could potentially assist the organization to reach its objectives. In some tech businesses, the CIOs lead internal business implementations of technology, while CTOs lead the development of technologies that are being developed to be sold externally. Behind those neat divides, however, lies a huge amount of blurring. CIOs might, for example, identify how an in-house developed application could be sold on to external customers. The business might draw on the CIO's knowledge in the wider sales process. Equally, some CTOs also help run internal IT operations. There are other job titles that are worth being aware of too, like Senior Vice President for IT and Head of Technology, which is also often used. Other examples of technology chief titles include Chief Operating Officer, COO, Head of IT, is Director, or more specific job titles like VP of Digital and IT, or Director of Data and Technology. The only way to know for sure about someone's influence and responsibilities is to find out what they do on a daily basis. What does a CIO do? The CIO runs it, and the CIO changes it. As much as they would like to spend less time in the IT department on day-to-day processes, many CIOs still need to keep an eye on the data center to ensure systems and services are up and running. When something technical goes wrong at the weekend, it is likely to be the CIO who gets the call, even if someone else ultimately has the duty of fixing the problem. While the rest of the business talks about the importance of game-changing digital transformation, most CIOs recognize they will be judged first and foremost on their ability to do the basics right. A grand e-business strategy will fail if the CIO neglects to ensure that security or business continuity is taken seriously. For example, as a C-level executive, the CIO is responsible for setting the IT strategy and ensuring that this works with the broader business strategy. In many digital businesses, the IT strategy will be the main element driving the business strategy. This means the CIO needs to be able to understand the broader business requirements and which to prioritize through the use of technology. Another big role for the CIO is building and maintaining an effective and motivated team. When it comes to transformation, too many vendors think CIOs are focused on leading-edge technology. Yet the reality is that, while IT leaders keep a watchful eye over hype technologies, such as AI, VR and IoT, most are still trying to exploit technologies that are only now reaching the tipping point, such as cloud computing and big data analytics. So, while marketing folk talk about the need to disrupt or be disrupted, most CIOs are still concentrating on building the platform to enable digital change. Who does the CIO report to? Consultant Deloitte found 33% of CIOs report to the CEO, 22% to the CFO, 11% to the COO and 9% to a global CIO, with the rest in a myriad of complex reporting structures. Dotted lines are not uncommon. CIOs will often report into a couple of executives, depending on internal lines of communication and ongoing initiatives. There is a common, perhaps misguided, belief that leaders should always report to the CEO. While reporting to the CEO helps keep the role of technology front and center, reporting to the CFO can also help ensure budgets are